Good morning, everybody. It's your girl, Miracle Sims, and you're listening to God, Sex, and Love. Your daily dose of inspiration and juice. It is July the 21st, 2021. And today the topic is exposed. For those of you all that watching me live on video, you may notice that it is technically after the time that I would usually have the podcast already out and everything like that, because I would just say, hey, I guess the Lord was kind of dealing with me this morning or something along those lines, because yeah, so long story short, I mean, you guys know yesterday I had the plans to go to my cousin's funeral and everything like that, and so that is what I did. Little man and I went down to my hometown and with the intentions of doing all of that, spend some time with family, everything like that. I mean, maybe I can go deeper later on if I end up doing it after show or something like that about how that was and whatnot, but the reason I'm going ahead and at least sharing that part is because, during the drive there and everything like that, I was kind of just taking in info. Okay. And so, I guess even throughout the day. So I've just been taking in all this information to where when it came to my, waking up this morning and everything like that, it was like this, not say struggle, but something like that. You know what I mean? Like, it was this whole thing of like, Lord, what do you want me to do? You've opened my eyes in this season. You've opened my ears in this season. You have me hearing and seeing all of these things. Like, what do you want me to do with this information, right? So this is why my study went a little late. I did wait. Okay, so I heard my alarm, and I remember turning it off. And then next thing I know, I look at the clock and it was 4:30 or something like that already. And so I did get up a little bit late, and I did not do my own routine at all. Or in regards to, I didn't do the workout portion of my routine today. But of course I did pray and meditate and everything like that. But, this question of what do you want me to do, Lord, was the main thing that's heavy on my heart and mind today. So long story short, on the way to my cousin's funeral, I was kind of just like listening to, Pastor David Lynn and their, the American tour that they were going on and whatnot. And just kind of like listening to, I guess some of the sermons that they shared while they were out there, and I guess, and some of the interactions that they had with people that can clearly, to me, be seen as like spiritual attacks, because, it's like people were so angry just by their presence, right? Not even getting into all the doctrines and all that. It's like just the presence alone of these Christians, being on the street, and maybe even in their form of protest or whatever case is, caused such an uproar, you know what I mean? Like, at least on camera, from what I'm hearing, I mean, I was driving, so I didn't do too much looking at video and whatnot, but, I have seen videos, of this where, they even go so far as to assaulting the people, you know what I mean? Like, putting their hands on the people, whatever case is, and it's like, goodness, like, at the end of the day, with this being America, you know what I'm saying? We're supposed to have freedom of speech and all these different things, and this or that is allowed, right? All kinds of protests is allowed, but at the end of the day, some people of God go out and to, I guess, do our form of protest, which is more so spreading the gospel than anything, which the Bible tells us to do. It brings on all these like spiritual attacks as well as the physical attacks of what we're seeing here. So I was already kind of taking that information in, right? Yesterday morning. And, again, spending time with family, X, Y, and Z. So then in the evening, when I did get back home and did kind of, settle down a little bit, eventually I ended up listening in on some things that Allie was sharing and everything like that. Again, it's like, obviously I've heard her testimony a few times, so some things obviously, but there was a few things I would say that I heard last night that was definitely a little, I guess a little bit deeper. Not that it changed anything per se about what I've heard already with her testimony, but just a little bit more, I guess, insight or whatever the case is on some certain things. And so and again, it's like this call, right? It's this call for us to do something, right? Now, in my opinion, this is my version of doing something, but at the same time, I understand that, hey, perhaps there are other positions as well. There's people that can be on the front lines and be on the street, just like with street preachers versus, a blogger or something like that. Yeah, I do believe we all have different gifts and different things that we do to help this, or to help God, or to do God's will, right? So, so it's that balance between like, Lord, am I doing enough? But at the end of the day, I think more so for me, it's like, Lord, what do you want me to do? And so that's what when I did wake up this morning, when I did do my prayer meditation and everything like that, I just was like, not say battling with that, but kind of like, I guess battling with this idea, because my whole thing is, again, the more that I do this Bible study situation, the more that I'm like, Lord, we really don't live the way you are telling us to live, you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, if this is a spiritual war and everything like that, then how do I fight this war? You know what I'm saying? It's like, what do I do? Like, what do you want me to do? And when I read your word, right, at least with me, this is, I don't know about anybody else, but when I read the Bible and read the words that it's saying in regards to what we should do, then it's like one of those things where it's like, okay, and it's not like we're not doing something, but it kind of is like that. It's saying, trust me, right? It's saying, do not, take vengeance in your own hands and all these different things. Now, I know I just paraphrased those two things, but I would say the theme of those two things are in the Bible repeatedly. So it's like, what do we do? Because, when you're hearing about all kinds of evils and all kinds of different things, you're like, man, Lord, okay, obviously, again, I feel as if, I'm sure that a lot of this is news to a lot of people. Like, again, 2020 was definitely eye-opening in a lot of ways for me. And honestly, it kind of helped me. Like, one of the questions I was asking God this morning is, I was like, Lord, again, what do you want me to do, X, Y, and Z? And at some point, the question came back to me in my heart and mind, was like, why do you believe me? Why do you believe this individual's testimony, right? And so I started to think about that, and and I was like, well, Lord, I have a personal relationship with you. I've seen what you've done in my life and everything like that. And in regards to why do I believe, if I say specifically Allie's testimony, but not even just that, there's more things that was exposed beyond the stuff that she shared. To me, when I look at 2020 and everything like that, it's like I could see all these different things going on. And even now, right, there's, no one's talking about the laws that have been passed. No one's really, saying anything about like all of the things that are going on under our nose. And it's like, well, either people aren't privy, or people are, it is this thing that those that are saying something about it are, I guess call it propaganda, call it this brainwashing of sorts that's been going on for years. And I can't say that that's not true with the way that people act and things like that, because at the end of the day, it's like certain things, at least when it came to the election, y'all, I guess y'all already know some of my opinions there, but it's not even about me and my opinions, it's about what I was observing. And to me, honestly, for me, without even going deep into everything else, I would just say, if nothing else, the way that the election and everything went last time made me question the whole thing, period. Like, it made me wonder, well, how many times has this been done? Like, have we been able to really vote at all? You know what I mean? Does our vote really count at all? Did it ever really count? Things like that. So, again, that's deep. You know, I guess those that have ears and eyes to hear and see, then I hope that you guys hear and see. These are things that you guys can research on your own. I mean, I know there were things that was exposed on the news and otherwise about, you know, different attempts or whatnot at yes, cheating and everything else like that. But regardless of that, it's like, well, Lord, you know, hey, what do you want me to do about all of these things, all of these evil things, whether it be what's going on with that or what's going on with, you know, the whole human trafficking or whatnot. Like, because at the end of the day, too, now I can say, okay, yeah, I might have witnessed some of the stuff in regards to, okay, I've seen some video footage or I've seen some things where it's like, you know, it seems like there was some clear indications of something going on when it comes to the election or whatnot. Now, again, some things, again, that Allie shares, whatever the case is like, okay, this is, you know, I'm going off of the testimony mostly. And then I guess I've seen some things here and there. But, so again, this was the questions that came into my heart and mind this morning. About like, well, why do I believe, right? Because at the end of the day, I haven't had to see God. I haven't seen, you know, a spirit or something like that. But I have seen things work in my life. You know what I mean? I know that you know, my hope and everything like that is based on the word of God. And yes, maybe it was instilled in me as a child. You know, of course, you know, y'all know that my mom's an evangelist and everything like that. But at the end of the day, I had to build my own relationship, right? I had to study for myself and start to acknowledge God and, you know, his will for my life and everything like that. And so, yeah, that's what led me to the topic today, y'all. I mean, I didn't know that it was going to be exposed until like the last moment. that's what it was going to be called. But let me go ahead and share with you guys some verses. So basically, I was looking up all kinds of topics was coming into my heart and mind this morning. And I just was like, let me quiet myself. Like, maybe it's me. Like, maybe I'm getting in the way here. Like, maybe I'm not hearing or something like that. But eventually, 3 sections kind of stood out to me. So the Go Deeper section today is going to be Matthew 24, 4 through 14, Joel 3, and then Luke 12. Both of those in its entirety. The last couple, and then, you know, 4 through 14 was what stood out to me in Matthew 24. But I'm going to share with you guys the verses that were standing out to me this morning, and we'll see what the Lord do. I don't know. So, goodness gracious. Okay, well, let's start with this one here. It's Matthew 24 and 6. It says, "And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet." Now, I don't know about you all, right? You know, even when I was reading this morning, it's one of those things where it's like, not say I see War One or something like that, but it's like, okay, Lord, you're asking me not to be troubled when I hear about the wars and rumors of wars. Now, yeah, that was something that kind of, I guess, gave me some encouragement or something like that. It's like, okay, because I am hearing of wars and rumors of wars. You know, I'm hearing that this whole situation with World War III is pretty much a spiritual war. So it's very different from what we were imagining it to be. And everything like that. But again, it is a war and a rumor of war, whatever the case is. That as well as all this other stuff, right? So, if your word, Lord, you're telling me not to be troubled. That's what the word's saying here. So, but at the same time, you know, these are troubling circumstances, right? And, And that's the interesting thing, because of course everything it goes against what the Bible say. So at the end of the day, the word is telling us to not be troubled, right? That's what God is telling us to do. Hey, told us in advance. He exposed this years ago, right? He exposed this in the Bible, right? That, what did it say here? And ye shall, right, hear of wars and rumors of wars. So it said, and ye shall. That means this is about to happen. This is going to happen. That's what I receive here. It says this is going to happen. And then he's saying, don't be troubled when it happens. So, but do we do that? Do we do that? No, we don't do that. We do the exact opposite. We hear about something, we're freaking out, we fearing, we got all this stuff going on, and that's the thing. That's my internal battle, because at the end of the day, if I'm going to believe the Bible, then I need to be doing what it says, right? And not to say that I'm not going to fight or whatever the case is, or that I'm not going to, because I'm hearing, I hear that we're in a fight for freedom. I hear that this is a spiritual war. I hear that all of these things, there's a lot of warring going on, even right now, you know what I'm saying? And I can see it, I can see it too. I'm not going to sit here and act like, oh no, I'm not acting oblivious to all the evils in the world. Like, I see the evils too, just like everybody else see the evil. They report evil all day, every day, you know what I mean? And then let's not even talk about what they don't report, and again, because let's not go there. But what does God want? What do God want me to do? That's the question, right? And am I going to do what God wants me to do? I guess that's what we all have to ask ourselves today, because what it say here is, ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, see that ye be not troubled. That's what it says. So now, but hey, let's keep going, because let me tell you, because I know that there's things to be troubled about. So check this out. In the very next verse, in this same section now, and this is Jesus talking, according to the Bible, because this is one of them highlighted sections. Y'all know that's what it means, right? So anyway, I'm going to paraphrase this section here. Is going to be verses 7 through 9. I'm just going to paraphrase a bit and kind of list. So right after he tells us not to be troubled, he's telling us that this is what's about to happen. Nation against nation. He also says that famine. He says pestilences. He says earthquakes. Then we're going to be delivered to be afflicted and killed. Then it says hated by all nations for his name's sake. And then all of that stuff that I just named just there is, now again, I'm paraphrasing, so y'all got to read the verses for itself, but I just pretty much listed what the verses share about what's going to happen. But it's like, it says only the beginning of sorrows. Those things that I just mentioned there, all of that is just only the beginning. So who wouldn't be troubled by that? You know what I mean? I think anybody that, hears that, whatever the case is, might cause a little bit of fear, a little bit of something on the inside, might be shaking a little bit, but like, you know what? Okay, hey, Lord, you telling me it's going to be nation against nation and famines and pestilence and earthquakes, and I'm going to be, because for your name's sake, I'm going to be delivered to be afflicted and killed. Okay, but don't be worried about, okay. And that's just the human response, you know what I'm saying? So again, right? Knowing this ahead of time. Again, my question, and as y'all can see, this is where the deep study came in, because I just was like, well, Lord, hey, you open my eyes in this season. You open my ears. You have me hearing and seeing all kinds of things. Now, so what do you want me to do? and so, this is what I guess he's telling me to do in regards to, I guess, again, like I said, reading these things, it did kind of, it was this balance between being like some type of peace, about knowing. But at the same time, this don't sound like, a picnic and, peaches and cream and all, and so it's like, it don't sound like something I want to experience, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, when I see the things happening, like, should I be surprised? Like, should I be, afraid and all this stuff? I mean, let's see what else the Lord got to say about it. So, let's keep going. So then verse 14 stood out to me in that section as well. And it says, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be proclaimed in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. So, now I ain't gonna lie, there's a lot of things that kind of making it seem like I do feel like we're in the end times. Yeah, I definitely feel like these are end times. Now I don't know if these are the end times or if these are just the beginnings of the end. As they say, the birth pains or whatnot. I don't know, right? I don't know. However, I mean, this is what's telling us what's going to be the end. It says the gospel of the kingdom shall be proclaimed in all the world for a witness. So, I mean, I don't know how much the gospel has been proclaimed. I don't know if it's been in all the world now or whatever the case is. But it has to have gone rather far. Only just based on, knowing where it started, and everything like that, as well as, knowing that there's some individuals that have traveled the world to share the gospel and everything like that. Now, obviously, I don't know where we are on the timeline, y'all, so I can't sit here and say yes, and nor should we listen to anybody that says that, yes, it's around the corner, or yes, it's tomorrow, or yes, it's da-da-da-da, because, that the word has something to say about that, too. I guess I'm just trying to encourage and inspire you today, even though a lot of this stuff doesn't sound too, I wouldn't say it don't sound encouraging and inspiring. I think it's the way you look at it. I think it's your perspective and your spiritual, where you are spiritually. But yeah, I'm just going to keep going. So then, also 16 and 17 stood out. I'm going to paraphrase these verses here. The part that stood out to me the most about 16 and 17 says, but the Lord will be the hope of his people and the strength of the children of Israel. So shall ye know that I am the Lord your God dwelling in Zion. So, if we needed some hope about all of this stuff, right? All of these evil things that we just heard about. Well, this ain't even the evil stuff that we heard about, honestly. Like, this is, because this is kind of like, not say natural, but pestilences, earthquakes and all this. I mean, this don't even sound, compared to some of the evil things that I'm hearing in regards to, again, human trafficking and all that. What's an earthquake to that? Now I guess, I haven't experienced one yet. So, I don't know. So maybe it is kind of bad. But yeah, I don't know. But regardless, it's saying that the Lord will be the hope of his people, and the strength of the children. So, yeah, that is the first section of what stood out to me this morning. Now, another verse that I ended up writing down this morning, that's not a part of those three. So if we divert a little bit, it goes to John 16 and 33. It says, I have said these things to you that in me you may have peace. In the world you will have tribulation, but take heart, I have overcome the world. So again, hey, if we needed some confirmation, to the things that God has revealed to us already, the things that have been exposed, I guess, since the beginning of time, then, I guess we need to keep this on our heart and mind today, that, hey, he said here that he's telling us all of this so we can have peace. Say, hey, in the world you will have tribulation, It says will. It's and so we have tribulation. We see tribulation on every end, right? There's tribulation here, there, between each other, all kinds of tribulation, right? So, but again, it says, take heart, I have overcome the world. And that is something that we know in regards to that Christ is rose and everything like that. And so, defeated death and everything. So, this is supposed to give us peace. This is supposed to give us peace. Now, does it give you peace to know this information? Again, I guess it depends on where you are spiritually. I think, obviously we need to get into the Word and remind ourselves of these things, especially when we're hearing about the wars and rumors of wars, because again, this type of thing can just really just yeah. I don't know, y'all. I think we have to, again, when we go to God and ask Him what He wants us to do, do whatever it is that God is leading you to do, right? So if He's leading you to be on the front line, be on the front line. If He's leading you to do something else, I don't know, do that, right? But I think it's more so about God's will and not just like what we think should be, not just say the main cause, but kind of. Because at the end of the day, it's all about the good and evil. It's the fight between good and evil. From my understanding, and so there's all kinds of evil. All kinds of evil. But the Lord said He will repay. And I think that's the thing about going deeper. The sections that I have in the Go Deeper section today, like when I was reading them, it gave me a different perspective, right? Because for me, like for example, when I was reading Joel 3, and did I even write down any verses from Joel? I don't think I did. So let me just tell you guys about when I was reading Joel 3. What it did for me, it kind of gave me the perspective that, well, the whole thing about there's nothing new under the sun. Like, this been going on. And I'm not saying just because something's going on, it should always go on. I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is there's nothing new under the sun from what I'm understanding. So again, what do we do? What am I supposed to do? Right? About this particular time in history, hey, I do believe, I guess, that to a certain extent, there is some type of fight for freedom that we need to have and do, while we still have the chance to do so. But yeah, I guess, these are the things where we need to be led by, seek God so we can be led by what He wants us to do. But also, all things work together for the good of those that love God. So, it's one of those things, y'all. It's just one of those things. I'm just going to keep on reading here. Oh, goodness. So then, now let me check. Hold on. Let me share this one with y'all, because this one this is one of the reasons that I ended up looking into Luke 12 this morning. And it was this verse right here. It was Luke 12 and 51. It says, "Do you think that I have come to give peace on earth? No, I tell you, but rather division." Now, again, I guess those that have the ears and eyes and all that stuff, we know that means like the division between good and evil, the wheat from the tares, that whole thing. I guess I kind of just, because we sing all the songs about peace on earth and all of this, and so it just, for me, it's just like everything that's always, it's like the opposite. Everything just really seems to be the opposite. It's like, not saying, how can I say it? Because the Bible also says, everything about peace and everything like that. So I'm not saying that, I'm just going to stick to what it said there. And then, so y'all check out that verse for yourself and, read it for yourself and read the verses around it. Read the entire Luke 12. And I guess let the Lord show you what he wants you to know about that. But check this out here. Going into that, Luke 12, 4-5, it says, "And I say unto you, my friends, be not afraid of them that kill the body, and after that have no more that they can do. But I will forewarn you whom ye shall fear. Fear him which after he hath killed hath the power to cast into hell. Yea, I say unto you, fear him." So yeah, I guess my thing is today, there's a lot of things to fear, right? There's a lot of things that it's been exposed. The stuff has been exposed. So it's nothing new under the sun, as the word says. So, and as things are being exposed, and as eyes are being opened and ears are being open to all the evils and atrocities of the world, it can cause fear. It could cause us to fear, and then it causes us to not, do what God told us to do, right? I guess because if we do fear, then there's no, I guess you don't trust in God, you're not, and all of that. So, yeah. So, I guess the thing is, again, God told us already, all the things to happen. Even from, like I said, that whole list earlier that I shared with you guys, to the famines and pestilence and earthquakes, and again, being afflicted and killed, for his name's sake, it's heavy, right? It's heavy. However, again, I guess this is showing me, or at least in that verse there, is that, hey, well, even so, their quote unquote power is limited. So who should we really fear here? I guess is the question. And again, if we're going to trust God, if we're going to believe the Bible, if we're going to be Christians, or however you want to look at it, then this is what it's saying here. Now, maybe it's a whole nother juice or a whole nother conversation to really, really think about, like, okay, how to fight the spiritual war and everything like that, or, all this stuff, period. But, and I don't know, like we talked about the other day about time and everything like that. There's a time for war, there's a time for peace. It says all of that. And then obviously there's plenty of wars that was fought in the Bible. So I'm not sitting here saying like, oh, don't fight or whatever. I don't know about all of that. I'm just saying what I'm studying here and what it says. And I guess y'all can let that marinate on your heart, souls, and minds this morning. But the Bible verse of today is Romans 15:13. It says, "Now the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace in believing, that ye may abound in hope through the power of the Holy Ghost." Friends, hope y'all enjoyed this juice this morning. Thank you so much for listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration and juice. I pray you guys can go forth and have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow, if the Lord's will. Bye-bye.
This podcast has been brought to you in part by Inspirational Therapy Session Incorporated, inspiring teens since 2002.